I'd say now 50 comments.
I'm telling you. I sent it to you. I said Kenyans like controversy. And then proceed, state facts.
As Africans, we are doing well with polygamy until the whites showed up and reigned everything.
Men are more than women.
Polygamy will solve many social problems. Every child will have fair access to a father.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 123 of Banter over Brunch. My name is Alexia Musau.
And my name is Kanji. And today we have some special guests joining us for today's episode. This is episode
123.
123.
Have you ever had two ladies? I don't think so.
We have not.
Wow.
This is actually
a first.
Yeah.
I don't think
We've had two guys before.
Yeah, we haven't had. Oh, we've had the girls episodes, but that was like way back.
Have you had siblings?
We've not had siblings.
We're looking for the unique
and people I feel like we didn't know necessarily or like directly connected to. So
yes. So interesting conversation that's going to happen today, guys. But we have to mention that finally, after my shouting, because me personally, I've said it's because I've been shouting at you guys by violence to subscribe. We finally reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So
2 years later.
2 years later, so keep pushing. Let's keep going. That's the momentum we need to keep picking. Now we've done the 1,000 milestone. What's our next target? 10K. When we give them these small ones now,
20 years later.
They like chilling. Not 20. 5K. Okay, sawa. 5K subscribers. So you guys, a huge chunk of you, more than 50% who are watching this are not subscribed. So if you know you are the one, I'm eyeing you heavily. Please. Not even please. You need to shape up and subscribe right now before we tune into this episode. And yeah, now we can continue.
So usishtue wageni wetu I shouted that. But yeah, we'd just like to give you guys the opportunity to introduce yourselves, to the brunchies.
Okay. My name is Nzilani. And I'm Kavenya. And we're told to give like government names.
Oh,
yeah.
Erika Nzilani Muya.
Sophie Kavenya Muya.
Nice. And we are sisters, and we have a podcast called Sisters in Crime.
Amazing.
We also create content, different kinds of content. Erika does dance, and I do food. So, yeah.
Can you guys beat your drums? Can you say more about you, like
dance, true crime, marketing content?
Yes,
it's not just
still
diverse,
videography, editing, lifestyle enthusiast. I like to travel. We like the good life.
Many hats.
We love God.
Amen. I love that,
and we are happy to be here.
Thank you for gracing the podcast with your presence, and I'm just excited to see what conversation we're going to be having today. So I think we can just start with how your weeks have been. Alexia,
why are you starting with me? Start with the guests.
Okay, sawa. Sorry, Nzilani.
I can go first. My week has been hectic. It's been like there's a long weekend.
Yeah.
And we love the long weekends, but we hate the long week that comes afterwards.
Oh, no.
So there's been a lot of work and just a lot going on this week with work projects, and I have a side hustle for copywriting as well, and the podcast. So things have been heavy, but I'm so happy that the schedules aligned so that we can do this today.
Can you link me to that copywriting?
I can. I 100%.
We're all marketing girls.
We're marketing girls.
Marketing girls support each other. We market each other.
But overall a good week. Like busy is good.
It's Tuesday.
Oh my gosh, it's Tuesday.
It's a long week.
Wow.
No, but
it's felt
overall,
like 5 days.
I know.
But it's I'm excited for the rest of the week.
Cool. Yeah, my long weekend was dope. I was in Watamu.
Hey. Yeah.
Wengine tunajaribu kupanga next year.
Yeah. I said this year is for chopping life.
Love it.
Amen.
Yeah, so I was in Watamu with a couple of friends. That was interesting. A lot of highlights, some not so high. I won't lie. So you said we give how the week was. Yeah, I someone this weekend.
Hey, okay, you've not
Okay,
even
guys,
said
now
broken up. You
people will
said
be
I
saying-
someone must have been
And
a
this
very
is the
worthy
first
cause.
time I'm hearing.
I should
Hey,
have gone first actually.
The home of exclusive. The home of exclusives.
Yeah, but like, all in all, this weekend.
Have you announced to your audience that you're Ama, this is the exclusive?
No, don't worry. He was always in the shadows. A hand
Okay,
here, a
fair.
leg there. It was never like official. I've
What
learned that
happened?
in Nairobi, you test kidogo. You keep your people to yourself.
Yeah.
And then eventually, like when there's ring on finger,
You post and
you
collaborate
post.
on a post.
And and you say it is done. And then after that, maybe baby number one. You know, it's not a commentary you give unless
Exactly.
it's an influencer relationship.
Lest you find yourself in one of those polygamous relationships.
Yeah.
Unknowing.
Guys,
Unknown.
we'll get to that. The comments
Put a
that
star.
we received, put a star.
Anyway, yeah, but it was a really lovely weekend full of lessons.
You don't seem sad about
No.
It has been lovely.
action.
Yeah, no,
It's
well,
been lovely. It's
Hey.
been fantastic.
highlights. You know, it's important to pick yourself up and you move on.
Facts. Was
Time-
in the trip, like part of the trip.
Ni kama kitu ili happen hiyo trip, sio?
Well,
The
like you know,
leader to
sometimes you see the signs,
The flags.
the flags,
yeah.
they're waving in your face,
Fair.
and
Fair.
it takes
It just
a
takes,
trip.
yeah.
Kwanza trip.
Yeah, it takes a trip.
Hey,
It takes a trip.
Guys,
It's a
trips are
trip
not
for you
so
realize
A
how
lot
much you're
of bad
tripping.
things always happen in
Yeah.
trips.
No, I just
Yeah.
feel like people's not real side. Let me just say, nasty side sometimes comes out because you're not
Yeah.
in,
And
I don't know what
in
is
your
it about
normal
trips that
environment.
Yeah,
Get
and
that
You're just
going.
triggered by everything. Like, why are you walking slowly? Like,
why are you walking slowly?
Why don't you do so many
Or
activities?
you're the one who
you've
booked
come
this
late to
place.
the
Yeah. Why are you
to the
waking up
location,
now?
You're waking up. Okay,
small
yeah.
things.
Small.
But
You've
all in
got-
all, I mean, like, I wouldn't obviously 100% blame the person. If you're not a right fit, you're not a right fit.
Yeah.
And they weren't a right fit for me, the same way I wasn't a right fit for them.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're cool.
Yeah,
Like,
there we are
yeah.
neutralizing the situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pure answer.
There might be snipers.
Yeah.
What you mean? Anyway, yeah, but this week now jumped into work, drowning in a lot of work.
yeah.
You know, marketing, you count in quarters. Like I know every other career, even finance, but going into November, December, plans need to be solidified. So all clients are asking, what's the plan?
Yeah.
So yeah, Tuesday does feel like it is Friday and it is only
Hapo
Tuesday.
nimekufeel. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but-
think because of the long weekend, the work accumulates and then now, and I don't know how because everybody's in a weekend.
Yeah.
But then now Monday comes and it's just everything
Yeah.
is just
As per our discussion on Thursday.
yeah, no, just
My brain has
hiyo
already switched
kesi
off.
baadaye
Like,
baadaye inafika.
Yeah.
I shall talk to you on Monday. Monday does come.
Monday does come. Yeah. You want me to go next?
Eh.
Okay.
Okay, I can go next.
Nimemark. No, I mean, okay, I don't mind. So my week has been quite something. I think first of all, I discovered a club in Nairobi that I did not.
Alice used to tell us that club she went
No.
to
Let me
because
just, I don't know, I'll just share a video that we think we can put on the video and let me just show the audience. You see
You know how much fun you're having about the
I
setup.
was like, is she in the country?
Okay, the strobe
Kwani
lights.
niko nchi ingine? You
like,
know,
is
that
in the
was,
country?
let me look for. Yeah, so this is
Hey.
the place. Do you guys know
I
this
know
place?
this
Where's
place.
that?
I know this place.
Is that?
Is it in it's like near
It's in
Kiambu
the
Road?
Rana Plaza, Hapana
Oh,
space.
this is
So
not the one.
our room.
This is not the one.
Galana Plaza have space for another club.
So it's like not a club, but it's like they have rooms where you can make your club inside there. So you can fit in like 40 people or even more.
So you get it
So
for
you
private
rent,
events.
you get your own DJ.
So you can bring your own DJ. They have a huge TV. They have like lights and you can control the lights, how the movement goes. What I found very weird was they were like under the table, like on a section like this. There were a lot of cups. So I thought, okay, let me pour a drink in that cup. All the cups had dices. I felt that was suggestive. We asked, they had dry ice. So if he like in the room at some point there was dry ice, then there's AC, then there's like when you book a room, it also comes with beers. And then when we walked in, everybody was Asian. I think it's an Asian establishment. And it's like there were hookers on standby because, it's just a very
There's a lot
What
happening.
was the
sketchy place.
How much?
So I think, I'm not sure, but on average, I think it was 40K. But now if you're many, so we each contributed like 1,000.
Yeah.
And, it comes with beers, it comes with snacks, like fruits, like it was just an experience.
And can you substitute the beer for something else if you don't drink
They
beers?
have Chinese beers and nini. But of course, there's also a menu and they have food, and the food is really well made. So I felt Nico in Chingine. Yeah, it was quite an experience. So if you're looking to do some sketchy shit,
In private.
that's the place. Because even the seats are like latex. It's just very suggestive.
Easy to
in
wipe
my
down
opinion.
seats.
Easy to wipe down
no.
seats. Okay. So that was quite something. So that was Thursday.
So what were you doing there?
It was my friend's birthday. A good friend of mine, his name is Nathaniel. Shout out to him. He had his birthday there. And kuna some.
It's probably
Stack.
It is nice.
okay.
It's him.
Yeah.
Hey.
Off camera.
Anyway, it's him.
No, just
So
a good
yeah,
friend
it
of
was his
Erica's.
birthday. Has been my longtime friend since I was 14. So yeah, we went to celebrate him, and it was quite an experience. I loved it. 10 out of 10. I'd highly recommend people to go there if you just want to have a really good time, even if it's a girls' night out, a bachelorette party. It's just giving. It looks like the place. Even if you ask for a strip pole, they have it on standby. Because genuinely, like it was quite an experience. So yeah, Thursday, then the weekend was the weekend. I went for my first Navratri, which, if you don't know, is an Indian holiday. And for 9 days, they celebrate this. I think they have 9 goddesses who they celebrate each day. So I went for one of those days because, well, if you don't know, my boyfriend is Indian. So yeah, it was quite interesting and scary at the same time because it's like scary. I mean, you're going to the temple. It's like,
Okay, I saw your story and you said
Muslim friend
scary and I
telling
was
you.
judging you, but I feel like I've grown up around Asians. I stayed in South Sea and Muslims. So would go to the temple with my neighbor and then would go for Eid lunch at the mosque.
So it was. I think it was new for me.
environment,
First of
yeah.
all, before him, I barely ever interacted with people who were Indian. So, and it's just, would I be the only black person
But this was worried.
with their?
I was going to ask what is the scary part.
That was the scary part, just the acceptance of me and me being in that space, because it's a holy space, and maybe, I don't know, I was just feeling a bit.
You've not been to an
And
Indian wedding.
even him was feeling a bit like, I don't know, it just felt
It was new.
it's new for everybody. So when we got there, I think we got peace of mind because I dragged my friend to come with me. So we got there. I think what gave us peace of mind is we saw 2 black girls in entry, and I think we're like, okay,
Immediately
so
relax.
We're not the only ones.
we're not the only ones. But it was so amazing. Like, those guys, they know, like, dancing is such a huge part of the culture. They know what to do. Like, you enter and
flowing.
there's like the song starts playing and everybody knows what's going on. So everybody stands up, and let me just show you a video. Again,
Like a choreographed Bollywood.
Yeah.
type of-
Exactly.
Yes.
Did you join?
I love that.
So I mean, we learned like 1 or 2 dances and we were able to join in. But yeah, so this is how it was. And everybody just...
How are you dressed?
So yeah, I had to find some Indian attire I had to borrow from my friend. But yeah, so at least I was looking.
Where
a
did
bit.
you get-
Yeah.
Even Nani had.
Even
like,
Margot had. Yes,
me, that
my
was when
friend.
you're calling me. That's the first thing I'm like, huh? Send the Diamond
'Cause
Plaza
I
sign.
had already asked Alexia to
Yeah.
come, but she didn't come. But yeah, no, it was such a lovely experience. Like, just the dancing and everybody having a good time, and the food and just the culture of it all. It almost felt like I was part of him, or just seeing him in his element. So I think it was also just a special moment. Yeah. So
that's deep bonding.
It was a bonding experience, and I absolutely loved it.
It's like him coming to Kisumu.
It's like
excited to show him everything.
you're showing everything.
Down to the next
This is
side.
where we do
Give him
this.
some
This is where we
fish.
do that. Yeah, and then also made some new friends. So it was a really good experience. But yeah, other than that, we're back heavily into work. Season 2 of My Tech Story Africa is officially out. So the team has really been on their Zoom. I think the pressure of, you know, when you're pre-recording episodes and then editing and then, I don't know if you know, but yeah. So I think the pressure of the build-up and making sure everything is the way I envision it was quite something. But I think now that it's out, now everybody knows what to do. And now just, it's flowing, and now just looking for business partnerships and next opportunities. So yeah. Honeycoin as well has been going. That's my corporate job. And I think I've been doing a good job. We have a 40% off offer, by the way, of Kicks Kenya sneakers.
Really?
Oh,
yes.
I love
so
Kicks Kenya.
if the shoes was stereotypically 4,000, it's probably gonna be like 1,800. So yeah, download the Honeycoin app.
That was a nice plug.
The first time I heard about Honeycoin, it was from
So you've heard about it.
US. It was US
Points.
influencers, mostly YouTubers. Yeah.
Is it the same
Maybe
Honeycoin?
before you joined.
Is it the one you go on the website and then it gives you like a bunch of discounts?
That is honey.
No, that's
That's
honey.
honey.
That's honey.
Yes.
That's honey. Honeycoin is a fintech app. So basically all your lifestyle needs in one place. If you want to go to a shop and buy whatever you're buying, or, you know, Kicks Kenya discounted rates or gift cards, or
Send
cross-border
money.
sending money abroad. So at cheaper rates. So, and at faster rates. So if you want to send money to Europe, within like 5 minutes you can get it at relatively cheap rates.
Wow.
America, etc. So it's a super app.
I've seen you guys on TikTok for sure.
Yeah, that's my job. Thanks. That says a lot, you know. So
She's working.
Bosses would be proud.
Honeycoin, she is working.
I'm working.
The
So
trend.
yeah. Honestly, our TikTok does really well. We thank God, because when I post videos, they just pick up really well. I think we almost got 1 million views recently. So yeah, I'm on my own.
Yeah.
You're working, you're earning your keep.
Yeah. Anyway, I've talked so long. Me and I can talk forever.
You guys have such interesting weeks. I'm like,
What did I
and okay,
Actually,
let's talk
but
about.
sorry, before you continue, before we get into the topic, after there's something I want to bring up just to discuss slightly, and then we can.
Okay,
yeah.
so take notes, something to. Okay, so my week was good. Thursday. We start from. Okay, let's talk about long holiday. I went to Katanga to support a friend of ours whose dad had a party. Yeah, and Alice didn't join us. That's why we were looking at her stories. We're like,
I know. It's only because it's Gatanga and the transport is a specific time.
yeah,
Because
if
that
you miss it.
morning
In fact, the
someone was
person
sick.
who was going to come with you came late. I still feel like she could have managed.
Because I wish she didn't really tell me. I just kind of told her I might be running late, and anyway, it happened.
Yeah,
It happened.
so that was nice. I think it's always nice to go out of town and just, you know, interact with other people. And we had a good time again with the girls. So we made sure Alice felt the
I
FOMO.
felt it.
Yeah, you have
I
to
felt it.
retain
Group
FOMO.
chat, 1 or 2 man stories what I post.
Snapchat, close friends. So that,
Yeah,
so that
I
was
really
nice.
felt it.
I also had a pretty nice evening on Thursday. I think the night before the public holiday is probably the best night
time.
because 1 minute I was with family, 1 minute I was with friends, and it's a group of friends that we meet we're in Chama together, but we sort of have never met outside of Chama. I don't know if that makes sense. And they just joined Chama recently, so
Uko
some of
Chama
them
ngapi?
it's just the same one. The other one I have, but now we got some new young members.
In like 3
Mama Chama together. Mama
In
Chama.
fact, someone told me, we want to invite you to our Chama to talk to us, how we can invest.
Wow.
I said, okay, tell me
Mama
when you're
Chama.
ready.
You know that's an actual career?
Yeah. Guys, call me to your Chamas. I have experience.
She has experience. She can teach you how to make wise investments as a group.
I think because my mom has always been in Chama, so I always used to wonder, Mommy, what's Chama? Then she'd explain to me, and she was always a treasurer, so she's always collecting money, and then so that's
How do you keep a chama together?
Here.
Keeping a chama together, I think
A relationship.
everybody needs to be in line with what the mission is. If there's someone who's like 1 foot inside, 1 outside, that doesn't, because now they late for payments.
Yeah.
And for us, even the chama we are in, even if you're late for payments, like we know she's going to pay. I mean, we've had maybe one experience.
And that makes sense because it was someone we didn't know, someone who was brought by someone who left. So you see, it's so different to deal with such a person. But also, I think it's not taking things personally and realizing, okay, unaweza toka chama, but let's maintain the friendship. Let's not break the friendship juu ya usitukosee sana that we can't even have a relationship outside of chama, because we've had friends who've left the chama and we're still friends with them, even forget they're not in the chama. And vizuri, you know, sometimes people are like, okay, I've reached a point in my life, my priorities have changed, I won't be able to contribute to this, or you know, life happens. So I think just if your friends prioritizing the friendship over the chama, but that also means you need to respect the other person. You have to nini, when you make a promise to pay, you need to be very intentional. And
the
also,
rules everybody must know. Hata kama we are friends na ujalipa 3 months, okay guys, this is what okay.
So what are you gonna pay?
Okay, and so
because it gets personal because it's money, you know, so you still need to put systems in place to protect that.
And Alexia anakuanga very rough.
I don't know.
Anasema at nani, what's the update?
What's the update? You said
you've been saying
until they start side chatting me. Oh, please, can we? I'm like, say it in the group. Tell us. Mimi. I like communication. So at the end of the day, despite anything that's happening, you need to be able to communicate and communicate effectively. Anyway, so I was meeting with this group of friends and we had never met outside of chama. So it was really nice to see people more relaxed, because each chama yetu, it's sort of like with our parents, and you know, of course, there's only so much you can do with your parents. So just for us to bond as the younger generation, that was good. So I got home pretty late. Like it was a good time. This week I'm super excited. It's my birthday week. My birthday is on Saturday. Sina form.
So form.
I'm waiting for guys to surprise me. I'm trying to throw hints that I don't have a form, but people are like,
not catching them. She's not catching them.
So it's okay. Though in Gatanga I was surprised with cake singing. So I think friends have already covered that. But like, I think there's always that temptation of birthday moods and nini. But me, I rebuke those things in Jesus' name. Me, I say this is my day, this is my week, and the blessings, the portal from heaven is open wide. And
I try. First gift was their 1,000 subscribers.
Exactly. Things are going well, and I just try and speak a lot of energy and positivity into the year. And of course, you just try and psych yourself, because other people are living their lives. Niwe tunajua ni birthday yako, ni birthday week yako. So I'm just trying to find the joy in everything that I do, and I'm just super grateful to be able to celebrate a new year. It's not a given. It's not a given. So that's my update, guys.
You should plan something for yourself.
I'm definitely doing something for myself. I'm just trying to figure out where to put my friends in the whole mix, because there's another milestone I wanted to celebrate with my friends as well. So I was thinking, I don't want it to be like a lot of pressure for a birthday and then 2 weeks later I take it to ingine and bring me gifts.
So ujiite.
For myself.
Was 2 weeks ago. Nilijita form.
That's
I went swimming and I chilled.
I cannot do things like those. Me, 2 months before, I'm already making noise for people. It's my birthday, so like.
But she'll still update us the week of most of the time.
A week of, that's true. But I already know, like, I have to do something for my birthday. So birthdays, I'm a big birthday, like we need to do something, and every year I do something, anything to bring my friends together. I feel like I'll be that friend if I get my own house. I'll welcome a lot of people. I just like having people around me and celebrating anything. This looks like it can be an event we can celebrate. So and my theme was Babylon this year, by the way.
Wow.
And guys kept
everybody was
theme.
on there.
Guys kept.
That's
Guess where Alexia was?
Shama.
As in Machakos.
2 months in advance, she gave you notice na ulikuwa kwa chama.
Lisa Malate, and the chama was in my mom's house, and it's the chama introduced my mom to, so she couldn't host without me. And then I hadn't been home for so long. But it's okay.
It's okay.
Next year, God willing.
I think I have the opposite approach to birthdays now. I used to feel like there needs to be a lot to, like, I need to do a lot for birthdays. But then I realized this year I have birthday fatigue. Like, because with our family, we always have to do
something for the next
for every part. For birthdays. And then we're 8 of us. So, like, it's every month,
including
basically,
the
out
parents.
of the year.
Yeah.
Yes.
6.
Yeah, we're 6 kids. So it's constantly birthday season. And then now when it's my birthday, I'm just like, guys, I don't want you guys to get fatigued, like planning. We're six. And then also my friends like to do something for everyone. So even this year, it was in a weekend period. And I felt like it was back to back. I went from my parents to my sister had like a thing for me to my friends thing, and at the end I was like, next year I kind of just want to go to the spa for the whole day and like rest.
So the approach I think I take is my actual birthday I just went for dinner with my friend, but me sasa venye unasema fantastic Happy Friday back to Sunday. yeah
I think even for Nzilani I can relate, because I think like the past 2 years before like 2020 I never used to do anything. I'm from a small family. We don't do birthday things. Like, you just, if you have something, do something. If you don't, well and good. So I think I started doing stuff 2018, then 2021, yes, then last year. So now I was like, okay, this year I feel like I don't want to plan a party. I don't want to plan something big. I just want now something small, So I'm like, it's okay. Next day is I'm turning a big girl age. And I'm like, this
are you sure you're not saying that so that people
something
plan for you something
this year?
Yeah.
No,
you actually
I'm no pressure. Like, I'm perfectly fine. I just want to do that, like spa, just be somewhere, take it in, set the intentions, and then move on from there.
Let's get spa.
Maybe an intentional journal as a gift.
I need to do my what do they call this thing for gifts? We do
wish
wish list.
I never do anything without a wish list, because people
always
always follow the wish list. That's a hack, by the way. Like, if maybe it's a housewarming, you just say, these are the things I'm looking for.
I'm
pretty sure
it saves time.
and
It
people
saves
will bring you something.
and it's something that you actually want. So
Yeah.
it's not like
And even the people who aren't even gonna give you gifts, like, they can consider from looking at the list of the things you want to get you something. So
that's a hack.
Learning a lot.
definitely a hack.
Those of them who are going into marriage, that's a hack.
that's a hack.
Alice,
You don't get 5 toasters.
Anyway, I think now we can get now into the gist of the episode. Before that, I wanted to bring up something that I saw that I think we need to discuss. Did you see this video of a Bolt driver with his penis out?
I saw it in the morning and I wished I couldn't see it.
I didn't watch it because I just I saw Bolt there and I just
You knew.
I was like,
And it was explicit
Actually, you're
content.
driving and then this guy removes
He's just,
his
and
thing
it's just here
here.
chilling and he's driving.
So I think when the lady started removing the camera, akamuliza mbona uko uchi? And then akasema ando anaanza kuficha nini ati and then she was just like nishukishe. And I think it was 2 ladies in the cab.
She was talking to her friend.
It was inside the
and they are
Bolt.
driving. The guy is driving, but like he's removed his thing like in a imesimama hivi like this as he
Na amesteady. Sa unashangaa. Then if it needed to grasp for air, is that the forum?
Time he can't have
it usually needs to grasp for air. I'm like, can you just? There's no excuse.
Oh my god.
Like, being a woman has a challenge, a new challenge every day presented.
what's
I was
that?
just trying to go to
That's so
work.
traumatizing. And I've watched that. I don't know if you guys have watched Sex Education, but people really don't understand what sexual anything like that is sexual abuse. Not abuse. What's the word for it?
Harassment. I feel harassed
Because
if you're just doing
in
that.
Sex Education,
Done
the
in the
guy was
bus.
behind, and I think he was masturbating behind her, and then he came, and
Whose ex-boyfriend is this? I'm not going to remember.
I'm recording.
So it was something that someone would have looked at and it's small, but that thing traumatized her for I think couple of years.
Take the bus.
She couldn't take the bus. She felt she couldn't even be active sexually with other people because of that trauma. So something like that, you're just wondering in your head, like, anytime you enter an Uber, I feel like it will have an impact in you.
There was also another story with matatus. People do that in matatus as well.
But
You sit in town in CBD where a
you'll
guy
be
will
sitting
just
like
show it to
opposite,
you and you're like,
and then the guy, or you can be sitting with someone and he's just like,
it feels
what do you
violent.
get
There's something
out
about
of
it that
that?
feels so
it's
violent.
wrong.
Like,
What do you
now you've
gain
put
out
me
of
in a
that?
It's consent.
space.
It's still I still, you just feel robbed. There's something that has been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
your eyesight.
Yeah.
Robbed of your eyesight.
No,
senses.
so I thought that was, and you know, Bolt paid a grant or whatever it is to the Kenyan government of some sorts, and then they got their license renewed.
Oh, 'cause
after
I
being
left it at
revoked.
that,
See,
yeah.
their license was revoked, but according to my sources here, he said,
Huku tunakuanga na sources of everything, guys.
yeah, he mentioned that they paid some chunk of money to some people, and then
They got
the
it.
license was renewed
Of
as
course,
Kenya
corruption.
would do. But
That's so
I
sad
don't.
that it's
I
of
think
course.
that is so wrong. Even when I order Bolt, because now, first of all, Uber prices right now are crazy.
They're crazy.
The dollar rate is like normally to Westlands from my place,
That one
like
affects it.
350. 300 if I'm using a Bolt, 400 ikipita, peak max 500. On average now to come to Westlands from my place is 670.
Let me tell you, even my deleted Bolt, because I'm like, I'm not giving it any chances.
Yes.
Like, Uber is also not
Lakini
helping the
Uber is
situation.
not
I think it
helping.
used to see that you're looking at Bolt, so it gives you discounts. Now that it knows you're only focusing on it,
Uber,
in a
it's
ringa
Guys, imagine try InDrive.
I
know
mean,
it's yeah, Paul said it's an extra step, but I'm like, it's not really an extra step. Sometimes it has lower price, sometimes they surge because they are fewer.
Yeah.
But Bolt, the way it's going,
Yeah, me I've
Bolt
used
is
InDrive.
bad. Okay, so
see
now
the
because it's
apology?
670, I've been thinking, okay, Sawa, let me just order Bolt today. The car that comes first of all,
You
is
instantly
50 years
regret.
old. Instant regret.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, kwanza the time I ordered, sorry for. That
Maybe not
last
that's a blessing
week
in
I
cucumber.
ordered. In fact, when we were going to that place, that party, I was in. Thank God I was with someone in the cab, because in the middle highway, like Fika high, like highway, like
On the
highway
highway.
on the highway, ana mafuta imeisha, and I'm wondering, we've passed 3 petrol stations. He didn't feel like
He didn't
he didn't see.
see a kufir.
And so, you know, it's scary. It's a scary situation. It's at night. Cars are coming full speed. I said, immediately, I just said, I can't stay in this car. And I was just standing, you know, it was the underpass. So I just stood on the wall. I'm looking like a bad bitch, obviously.
Obvious.
You know, like, and so I'm standing on the side of the road. I'm feeling so, sijui huyu anaenda kukimbia kuchukua mafuta. I just felt so
especially underpass.
Vulnerable, because that's now where
it's so I couldn't stay because I had the fear a car would come behind and just knock
not
us.
even cars, thugs.
And thugs. That's what I'm saying. Thank God I wasn't alone, because I was with another guy who were going with Arnold, and I think that was a very scary experience for me. And it's just like the one time I've used Bolt, the car is 50 years old, atuna mafuta. Like, yeah. So
Uber,
I'm
we
not
really want to
recommending.
use you. You
But
guys are
please make it
safe.
easier
But
for
yeah, because even like my boyfriend took the car to the garage. He's not been going anywhere. He told me, Uber is this expensive.
Uber is so
He's
expensive.
like, I was like, yeah, especially now I feel like it's just
Now,
gotten more expensive.
the dollar
It's like,
rate is
even
crazy.
ninge fuel, ningekuwa nimepiga laps. I'm like, yeah, it's like that.
And
So
what about matatus?
me, I'm a Java, but
I stopped being one.
I stopped having to do it.
I'm under the
I stopped
girls.
having to do it.
It depends on where I'm going. Even it's because let's say I'm going to work, I've on a white shirt. By the time I'm getting there in this type of heat, I am sweaty. I feel like I have to go back home. And then you have to walk to a place.
You have to plan your shoes.
I feel
I
like,
don't know.
yeah,
Your outfit as well. You
yeah.
can't just dress anyhow.
the system.
I'm
like,
watching my phone everywhere I go. My laptop. I'm holding like
you have
this
to
just
walk with
in
papas
case.
everywhere.
Yeah, then do the I hop on, I hop off.
You know. Yeah.
And then now do this again.
Peer
Some have
economics.
not gone to school.
Yeah.
The road planning system is
It's
just
horrible.
wherever is how it feels like. But anyway.
Bolt
Yeah.
said that they suspended the guy. And according to me, that's not enough.
I don't think Bolt actually does what they
They
say.
don't have a customer support here.
But I feel
Carol from Bolt.
Emails.
And then the
what she
thing
does.
is, I think the drivers know the repercussions are not as heavy, because if you think about it, the same drivers are the same ones. Honestly,
Yeah.
true,
Uber
they have
or
Bolt
Little
and Uber,
Cab.
but how comes they behave in a certain light when you requested Bolt?
Yeah.
Even another day, a guy picked me. He was like, when you were okay, but even Bolt customers, according to Uber drivers, Bolt customers are wasumbufu, because I requested in town, and you see when you're requesting in town, they can't just stop the way they. So I had to make sure I'm there. He's outside. I jump into the car. He's like, "Kenya, when you were Uber, ingekuwa wa Bolt, angekuwa
So there's a
ananiambia ako
laxity
ndani."
that comes with Bolt, and I don't know what they can do to rebrand or to rechange whatever
When they used to be
do.
taxified, they rebranded.
They needed to rebrand
Rebranded.
because of the
Bolt,
same
now it needs
problems.
to go again. But let me give some like a safety tip that I always say when you enter Bolts. You first of all check the boots. Just look behind, sit at the back, because you never know. I've
there's
had
someone.
people, they can have someone in the back when you're sitting there, you're going to a trip, then you're just gotten from the back.
And your fear is unlocked.
And then check,
someone at the back.
at the back,
In
check
the
child
boots.
lock. And I've had a driver who told me that he puts child lock because there's some girls who actually order the bolt, and then when they get to the destination,
They run.
They either leave and go inside, and you want to chase a woman or something like that. But also, why do I want to be child locked in your car?
No.
And then
Just
the third
lock
thing,
the door. Don't child lock
don't
it.
child lock. And then the last thing is always sit, if you're alone, you sit behind the driver. You never sit on the other side where he can easily reach you. Never in front, for sure, never in front. But you always sit behind him just in
of
case
an
anything. Because like if he tries anything, that's easy. Grab stab. I don't know.
Grab stab.
Please grab stab, please.
Stab.
That's the only way. Yeah, that's the only way. So you just have to be safe.
Yeah,
God
so
for
that
us
was
all.
really crazy, and I wouldn't not love to have been that experience.
Very healing for them.
Huyo dem mwenye alipeleka police on a run.
You know that
Kanji.
talk about this. Let's go, baby. Wewe mbona unaingia gari yangu?
Yeah, dawa, hiyo ndio dawa.
Superhero,
But
though.
that anyway. Let's move on to why we have the beautiful ladies on the podcast.
Yes.
So you guys are about to launch something exciting this weekend. Actually, it's next week.
On Tuesday.
31st. On
Yeah.
Tuesday.
So by the time you're
31st.
listening to this, it's going to be
Next
3
week.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are launching a podcast. You did introduce yourself as podcasters, and why don't you tell us more about the podcast?
Yeah. So our podcast is called Sisters in Crime. It is a Kenyan true crime podcast about true crime cases all over Africa. And the reason we're doing this is we both really like true crime. We love it. We're obsessed. It's what we listen to. We're those girls who will sleep
To
with a
true crime daily.
playing in the background.
I hear you.
And we just really enjoyed it, and we've always liked making content together and creating together. So this is also a chance to make content about something we love, as well as having a platform that tells the story of African true crime cases, because you can find 1,000,001 stories about true crime cases that happen outside Africa. But sadly,
to have a platform
unless you're
like
watching
yours.
the news, and there's a couple true crime creators in Kenya, but we want really to be part of that, helping push the stories, because it's more than just entertainment factor with true crime. It's highlighting the cases and the issues. And one of the things we also really want to bring forward is the aspect of femicide and how it's so rampant, and it also helps you know how to stay safe as we're talking about these bold situations. Like those are true crime stories that people experience. That whole bold situation from this morning is a true crime experience. So being able to push these stories of Africans to the forefront is a big part of it.
Wow, I love that, because you know me, I'm a Pan-African girly.
Yeah.
So anything for that. First, why do we have flowers?
Because our guest is
Hey. Okay, sorry.
nice. You got his
Nice,
proposal.
I'm like, hey, whose boyfriend? Whose man? Your man is apologizing here. With flowers. Sorry.
He needs an ocean of flowers. Ifikie.
So anyway, so I think that's really interesting, because one, I'm a very big fan of true crime and documentaries. All of them on Netflix, have probably watched them, and you know, so it's very interesting to hear about. Even when I listen to podcasts, I listen to some, but it's very interesting to have that African touch, because the only people who I know maybe do really investigative kind of journalism, and it's like journalism is African Uncensored, or you know, BBC when they do those documentaries. But really having more and more people highlighting the stories is something so important, because I mean, a lot of crime is happening in Kenya. We just hear Sujin, I don't know who has been killed, has been dumped in the, you know, the sewer or in the river and ocean, and people just take it lightly. This year is writing compositions here for us about a death situation, and they're using, no sooner had she reached the destination than this, you know.
Our boys in blue came through.
Meets frothy waters that kills me.
Frothy waters.
I think I like the angle that also it's to educate the community, because some of these things, I don't want to say are preventable, or but you can sort of see patterns, I think, with crime and all that, you know, because even the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. It's always a repeated cycle or pattern. I listened to one episode of a, would I even say a crime podcast, but anyway, and it was about a guy and his therapist, and how his therapist just confused that guy, like really became the boss of his life. It was really scary, because by the time
And
you're
that
going to
happens a
therapy,
lot.
you're vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
And this guy saw this opportunity and took advantage of him. So even I remember saying, Nikianza therapy, I have
The
to make sure my mind
psychological
is intact.
but there are a lot of crime is
And I'm
also based on
sharing.
psychology.
Exactly.
All
Yeah.
crime is based on psychology.
Most, yeah, because you're like, and yeah, how did this person fika this?
Unashanga ali, how did they end up there in the first? You know how your mom, when you do a mistake and maybe your heart or something, the first, no, what were you doing there in the first place? So yeah, no, that's really interesting. And if I can ask, how do you, I mean, know we're based in Kenya, but how do you then reach out to the stories, you know, from up an African level in other countries?
The information is there. The information is there. And I think for us, it's just having all the information together and then analyzing it in a chronological sense. So making sure that we have as many sources as we can. A lot of newspapers usually have this information, and this information is usually free for them and available. So it's just taking their time, and that's why I guess we have a team to support us with the research. A fantastic team. Hala Karibu Production. Sandra is our research assistant, so she really does like make an effort to dive deep and find as many sources as she can, and then we see how we can support her and supplement that. And then now we create a timeline, put all the information together. And yeah, that's how we basically come up with the content for our episodes. But for me, aside from the educating aspect, there have been podcasts that have gotten people acquitted from jail. Like my favorite podcast is Serial. And the thing is, when you share these stories and you continue to follow the stories, we forget that judges, attorneys, all these people are human beings. And as much as they have the honors to follow the law and the duty to follow the law and procedure, everybody has their own agenda and a side that they are pushing for. So having these stories shared, like literally as laymen, you know, we get to analyze the facts objectively. And hopefully, like down the line, we'd be able to have that kind of an impact on the criminal justice system, where you hold the courts accountable and you can clearly see, you know, based on the facts, this is what happened. How did how did it go like left? How did this person end up in jail, or how is this person still free? Because everybody can see that exactly. And not all these cases get the kind of publicity that they need to
deserve.
So by offering like that neutral platform where we can just tell the stories based on all the information that's out there, then hopefully we'll build a community of we don't have a name for our people yet.
Sisters.
No, they could be brothers too.
Yeah.
Siblings in crime. They could be our siblings. That now become as passionate as we do and help contribute to the process, because as much as we do an episode, it won't just end there. If someone has an opinion and we're like, damn, this is actually like some great information, then why not jump back onto that story? Why not keep pulling the thread and see where that
could
goes?
listen to that episode who has the ability to make a change. Like there's a story about I don't know if you guys remember the story about this girl called Abby, who was in high school in Kenya, and apparently she got beaten and she died. And that story got traction for a little bit, but then it died down, and there's still been no justice. You know, you don't know who could listen to a story like that and have the ability to change something. So
I wanted to ask, what would you say the format of your podcast looks like? Do you guys discuss the cases, or do you play the episode? And I mean, do you play like, I don't know, what's the format? Because
it's a story telling. Like,
how do you tell the story?
We tell the story ourselves.
Oh, you tell the story yourselves.
We tell the story ourselves. And so I do a section, she does a section, because we kind of have that. Do you guys have sisters?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how sometimes when you're telling the same story to someone else, you're interjecting.
No.
You're
like,
contributing
imagine,
to
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you say
Okay.
the same words. So we wanted that type of chemistry. We tried a format where it was like she tells a story and I tell a story, but we found that this works better when we're both
interactive one.
telling, so that it feels like you're hearing a true crime story from your friend, not like it's news per se.
You also cover unsolved stories, because I used to
Yes.
really
Like
like
most
true crime
unsolved,
unsolved
Yes.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
Okay.
tell us your theories.
Then you tell us your theories.
Yes.
That's what you think.
Okay.
Yes, I'm looking forward.
I'm looking
to
forward to
listening to you
it.
guys.
I think the biggest thing for us with this podcast is not just to you tell the story, yes, but then there's the questions that are always left unanswered. You know, they're the crimes that seem to have been solved. But then when we do the research, we realize, wait, this is
Some
also
things are
looking
not adding up.
suspicious.
Yeah.
Why wasn't this person also looked into?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like if the Tom Cohen case
Yeah.
is filled with suspects, everybody in that case is a suspect.
I think that's when you start seeing the loopholes also in the justice
You know.
system, because you're like, clearly guys are choosing not to look at this angle.
Yeah.
As you said, there's an agenda, and guys have decided.
Exactly. And ours is not to become for by the government. We're just saying this is what happened, but something
It's
smelling a
something.
bit not right.
I think I have a follow-up question. It might be a bit deep, but I think as you do this over time, you're learning a lot about stories of people that are not necessarily good, nice to hear. Do you feel that will have an impact on your personality, of your psychology, or people mental health? You can fall into depression because you can take this person's story as your own, because you're wondering, why was justice not served to this person, and this is very personal. Maybe they have a similar story to you, and then somewhere along the way something happened. So have you thought about that, like the mental effects that it might have on you, and how would you tackle that? Or bado you'll find out as you go?
I guess the biggest part we will find out as we go,
Yeah.
because we don't know this aspect of being the one to tell the story. But even as like true crime enthusiasts, like sometimes you listen to a case and you notice after you listen to the whole episode, you're down, like you're a bit downcast.
That was
I
rough.
think I think what I found is good to find a balance. So in my life, if true crime, because I love it and I'm gonna listen to it regardless, other aspects of my life cannot be downcast. I cannot, and we always say this to my friends, we cannot have friends who are downcast. Like, we have to be up and not focusing on negative things in other aspects. Also trying to fill life with joy in general, and remember there's also really happy stories. There's really happy endings in life. It's not just like the ending that is gruesome and destructive. I think we will look for finding a balance, especially in life, to combat that. But maybe you have a different point of view.
It's also okay if it's not that deep for you, to be honest.
When I watch true crime stories, I found myself being very detached, if I'm being honest. Because a lot of the true crime stories that I watched were not even happening on the same soil, on the same continent. So it's easy to look at it like another show, another another cold case show, But then now that it's closer to home, I think it's definitely going to take a toll, because some of the cases we're even looking to dive into, like she mentioned, instances of femicide or stories where mothers have outrightly just killed their children, like the lady in Kitengela who was chanting as she was stabbing her baby. I made the mistake of watching that video. Do not do that. Now that's when I feel like now it will actually take a toll, because it's localized. But before, I never had that issue. Like I'd watch, move on, like I'd sleep
So
on
you
it.
don't know which town they are saying.
I don't even know which town. It's
So you're hearing Kitengela, you're like, I know Kitengela.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that when you watch, and I think that's why maybe we don't appreciate Kenyan movies or actresses and actors so much. It's the familiarity. But when it's like all the way over there, we don't even know half of those places. It's exciting. We don't know those people. So when they come into roles, you feel like they are the character. But now here it's different because we know all these locations, we know all these people, we might even have interact. It might be backyard. I live in Athi River, that was Kitengela. I went to school around Kitengela. So yeah, I think it's definitely going to be something we'd have to adapt to.
Yeah, I think it's something you should just look into, because I mean, I'm very interested in a lot of journalistic things, and very often adheres not after someone does this over time, it can really impact you and your view, even your perspective of the world. You become extra careful in a way that it's anxiety and not normal. So yeah, that's something that maybe you can just look into for the future, because I don't want you girlies to
lose it.
That'll be bad girls, not sad girls.
Anyway, maybe it's not that intense as of now,
but
but
you'll figure it out.
You'll figure it
could
out as
be.
you go, of course.
I mean,
it could be different people react differently. But it's just reminding me of when you said close to home. Is I listened to this podcast, one of my favorite podcasts, and it's called Lives Less Ordinary. I don't know if you know of it. I mention it a lot in this podcast. Anyway,
It's been a minute since you've mentioned it.
yeah, it's been a minute, because I'm not really caught
the
up.
BBC
but
one.
Yes, a BBC one, and they highlight stories, I think, from people all over, but I think there are about 2 stories of Kenyans, and the one that really touched me is someone who just went on a vacation on honeymoon in Coast, and I think when I say this story, people say, yeah, this happens, and I'm wondering, it happens. So
Coast.
she was in Coast. She came from the UK with her husband, and they came to Coast for vacation, but it was already suspicious because maybe the town was a bit empty. I don't know, maybe one of the islands or something of the sort. And at night, someone opened the room and she felt someone behind her, like, and you open your eyes and someone is in your bed. And on Twitter we saw something like that about 1 year ago of someone saying some lady complaining someone came to my bed and I had to run, and they basically captured them and who held them ransom, and of course now they're crossing over to Somali, and so of course you're also so basically pirates, and so Navy, going through loopholes, you can't use the normal route, and in the process the husband died, or maybe he was thrown overboard because alikuwa anapiga kelele. Maybe they saw some security guys and he was making noise for attention, and so thrown overboard. And for 4 years she was in a room locked for ransom. You're only talking to maybe your kid once in a while just to tell them, are you able to come up with the money or whatnot. And eventually I don't remember how she ended up getting out, but she eventually got out. But 4 years, her life has changed. You're a different person. I think she was also pregnant or something. She gave birth in the cell. Your husband is dead. Your new husband is dead. How do you even move on from life with that? And then, going to Kenyan courts to complain, justice wasn't really served, because it's like, you take it. But I think, I don't know, there's a light way that people take some cases, and it's like, it's sasa tutadunini. How will you know exactly who the person was or
they
whatnot?
see the effort is not worth it.
So I think she started a movement. I think people end up being inspired to start saving other people from something similar to that. But it was very interesting that Kenyan coast to and it wasn't. And what was scary is, after I listened to that episode, like last year, a woman was complaining on Twitter about the same thing happening to her, someone ending up in your bed and trying to capture you. You're trying to complain to the staff maybe are also in it, or it's just very traumatizing. And so any platform that we can have to highlight even more gruesome stories like this and to prevent, so that people are more vigilant on how they go about it, 100% on board.
Now that you said that, I actually realized it has, like, even just listening to true crime, because I've heard stories like that where a woman wakes up in a hotel and like a guy is trying to take advantage of her, something like that. I do, like, since I moved out, I have a housemate, and if my housemate is not there, I don't just lock the front door. I lock my bedroom door and make sure it's locked, because of stories I've had like that. Like, what if someone breaks in through the balcony? Like, what then?
And someone who has studied your patterns. Maybe they know your two of you.
Yes.
You've
gone. So I lock my bedroom because of stories like that. So I guess it does affect the way you move. It will affect.
So this planet still, it's not happening in
far
another
ahead,
galaxy. It's happening right here, and they're just ordinary people like you and me. I guess.
I don't know if your audience is so used to such like
I don't know.
Something fresh. But anyway, the episode has taken a turn.
Yeah, amazing. So you launch 31st.
yes, Halloween.
Weekly episodes.
Yes.
Every Tuesday.
We're not sure if it'll actually be every Tuesday. We wanted to do Halloween because of
Spooky.
yeah, and our first episode is kind of on the same vibe. It's very spooky, very Halloween themed. So after that, then we haven't discussed when, but I'm pretty sure I think we'll do on weekends.
On weekends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely on
Yeah,
weekends,
weekends.
or towards the weekend.
Okay, so like Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
Amazing. Looking
Yeah.
forward to that.
I'm really looking forward to that, and you'll just help us with the links. We can share with our audience as well, and let us know, and we'll just let them know that the podcast is out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay.
Wait, before we even go to the next thing, I have a question for you guys. As experienced podcasters,
If we do say so.
yeah, if you do say so yourself.
123 episodes.
Yeah, hey, that's a big feat. What advice would you give us, like, as we're starting out, being in this space, in this industry for some time?
True.
I think it helps because you're siblings, because of course conflict sometimes. Okay, we don't even fight. You
No,
just need to be the same wavelength.
I think it's worse.
And it's worse.
Yeah.
It can be worse, but at the end of the day, you'll come back together.
We'll come back to
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I think it's just how you'll be in sync, or how knowing how the other person works or whatnot, and everybody is committed to the same thing. Like, again, level of commitment needs to be the same. Otherwise, maybe you're having an episode recording and someone is like, can we do another day, because or they're just postponing. But if you really are having a same goal, I think it may be easier as well, because you guys are under an agency, which I wanted to also talk about. What else? What other advice? Consistency has to be there. You know, of course, you guys are marketing girlies. You know the drill. You have to really engage with your audience, even though our audience sometimes is not.
You guys have been beaten.
Engagement.
Per episode.
Yeah. Just figuring out how to. I think if you have a community of people who really fuck with you and your energy, it's easier to always feel like what you're doing is impactful. Like, even if as you start, your listenership is low, but there are those 10 people who are really dedicated to your shit. Like, it even just gives you that drive to keep going and to keep pursuing what you're doing and love what you're doing. Don't just do it for the money, because the money, for us, it came 2 years later, and it, we're still like progressing, so if you have the passion for it and you're committed to it, I think nothing else can stop you. And even if your partner may not be committed to it and you are, you will find someone else to do it. That's how intense the purpose needs to be for you.
I think she said everything. I say at least you have people you're working with. I think us, when we started, it was just us.
Yeah.
So it was us to do everything for ourselves, editing, social media, show up, look, like everything. So I think since you already have that advantage, just make sure that you're in the right mind and that you give 100% when it comes to showing up for the recordings, because I think, and a bit of like the research and stuff like that. Do it for something bigger than numbers and money, because sometimes that may not always be there or fluctuates. So you need to have a deeper reason or a bigger reason to show up. But all in all, just have fun. Like, it's never that serious. That's why even when you asked me 3 years, like, it's been vibes. As we just know, we record and we release episodes.
Honestly.
Sometimes we're like
sometimes we're thinking, okay, for real, maybe we need to start thinking how we're making it.
It's conversation a million times. But we still show up and we still have a good time, because I think for us, when we started, it wasn't really like a business. It was just, we wanted a creative outlet. We just wanted somewhere we could talk and express ourselves. So as long as we can do that, and there are people who are listening to that, then that's fine. But
but also, no people will know you a bit too well. Okay, but maybe your podcast is different.
Because
someone can come and they are telling you things and you're like, hey,
How did you
well,
know
you're
that?
listening to the podcast too much. Remember, we used to have a problem when we go on first dates. We used to say, we just stop telling guys we have a podcast,
because immediately
it used to be so annoying. I listened to that.
The guy has
episode.
so mad you.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's the problem of lifestyle podcasting. But I think you guys will be good if you keep pushing with the same momentum. And I really think it helps that you're sisters, because you will see each other.
all the time.
Yeah.
And also
Regardless.
protect this. I think when us when we started, we said we were friends first before the podcast.
Oh yeah, we made
so
like
if it teaches a point at a Google Doc, we didn't even sign.
We
I
didn't
don't
sign.
think
We
we signed.
created a Google Doc with rules. Or,
Yeah.
you know, just and you may not think they're important, but something
The
might
back of
come up, and you remember we had said this is
Yeah.
how you're going to handle this. So I think having just that contract within yourself, very important.
Because you don't
just
concern
about
as sisters
anything.
over
Yeah.
a podcast that you bore as sisters, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes no
That's
sense.
really good advice. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I had, sorry, I know this has been a long episode, but just one last question is I think our audience would be curious to know is clearly the podcast space is evolving to have even managers or agencies that are really interested to help manage and, you know, help you with marketing and so on and so forth. So I just want you to share with us like how that experience has been and, you know, what are the red flags, the green flags. A lot of creatives, of course, are very protective of their own things, especially because time and time again we hear stories of people being fucked over because of that contract that they signed. And
Kavenya is
whatnot.
a lawyer, so she can help us with
She
things
can
to
help
look
us.
out
But
for.
yeah, so how do you even get into agency? Would you recommend it? What are the agreements that you have, percentage wise? Just anything you
Whatever
need to
you
share
can
about
share.
that.
Yeah. I think we're open.
They're open.
Yeah.
Not about the percentages.
Yeah,
though.
they don't have to.
Give hypotheticals.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You can just give us a range of
Yeah.
how the money also
Would
works.
work.
Work. Yeah.
So first of all, with regards to working with agency, like Erica had said earlier, I think it's beneficial when you have the drive and you want to do it, but then maybe the time as a resource or actual resources like
Logistics.
mics, sound cards, you know, or someone to edit or the time to edit is lacking. Having someone like invest in you could be extremely ideal. But like you said, you have to then show up 100% because they're also pouring in. You know, like I said, money comes later. So right now we're talking about hypotheticals, you know, like when we grow. So I'd say that I love that the fact that we have the opportunity to work with an agency, especially for a podcast such as this, because it's very research heavy. It takes a lot of time to even produce the content for one episode. So to be able to have that support, we're beyond blessed. With regards to contract and the agreements, I'd say that you need to be able to tell, I don't know, you need to have that intuitive sense to tell the kind of person you're getting into bed with.
Facts.
Actually. Because the agency that we work for, I guess it's an agency contract, but Karibu Productions, they're very bubbly and passionate people about the content itself. So even the money conversation came
It's an
later.
afterthought,
They were
yeah.
pushing more for how can we support, this is what we can give, this is what we can do, these are the resources we have. And then I think it was even our third meeting that they were like, that we talked about the contract. And for me, that was everything, because it's not about, okay, we'll be taking 80% and then 20%
First meeting,
mjipange you know, the first meeting. But when we did have a few concerns about our percentage split initially, which was a certain amount.
I think you can just. I think
Ballpark,
it's okay to say
the percentage.
like it was more.
It was split
in
more.
half.
It was split.
It was
over half to their favor.
So then now it's
We'd split less than half. Like let's say if it's 30%, for example. But then we
wait, no.
What?
No,
Let
it
us
was
say
still
it
in
like-
our favor.
It was in our favor, but it
was
wasn't
an awkward
equal.
split.
It wasn't. It was.
It would be
with
awkward
point
for us.
something.
So then we negotiated for it to
More
just
of
be
theirs,
so
that
it
we
feels
could
like
have
they're
half and half.
yeah, because it's kind of like
I think
they're
I've
a
gotten
third.
it.
She's a third and I'm
And
a
she's a
third.
third.
Not like we are
In
a
fact, that's how
unit
it is.
because we're both individuals. Yeah. So that is how it is.
Okay.
It's a third, which
Makes
I
sense.
think it works really
Yeah.
well.
Because then at least we also have, you know, that
Higher,
agency of
share,
our creative.
shareholding.
You get. And then
Yeah.
even with regards to business being brought in, because those are also certain factors that you need to consider. There's the split from the agency, then there's what we bring in, because again, like, we're marketing girlies, so
we can bring
have
in a
access
client to sponsor
lots of opportunities, and so do they, because they are going to be actively looking. But they were so cool. They were like, don't worry, even the people you bring on board, you guys can just do that for yourselves. And we're like, no, we'll split it according to what we said.
nice.
But whoever brings in the business as well, it matters. And even in regards, aside from the money, because that was such a secondary conversation, a thing I really liked about it being with a production company is I'm so heavily usually behind the camera and in front of the camera. It felt like, because if I'm doing my own content, I'm setting it up, I'm doing it myself. If I'm doing content I also run my agency's social medias, I'm doing it myself. If I have a page for my friends as well, I'm doing it myself. So it felt so nice on the first day. To just be like, let me take your phone, let me record. I was like, oh my god,
let's record for you guys.
Or
you reach and then they're setting up. Wow.
Even as
so I
easy
wire. You just tell me where to
it felt so nice. It felt so nice. Or even like they'll suggest, so if we're making the content for socials, they'll say, let's do this, let's do that, let's do that. It's like, there's a content plan.
And then someone is ready to shoot it.
So
all I have to do is speak.
Say less.
That aspect was really nice.
I think
Plus they're good people. Like I can't know who you're getting to bed with. Like everybody on the team. Like it doesn't feel like we're working. It feels like the same way with you guys in the team, man. Like we're all, no one has a specific role. Like,
just vibes.
Just vibes. And even when we like mess up, because like the first recording, there's always those nerves, and you're trying to get through it because like maybe fixed content, like there are certain facts, like the team is just cheering in the background.
That's so nice.
Everybody's just on your team and ready for you to succeed, and I guess
have the same
goal, and we're all working towards it. So there's nobody who's better than the other person. We're all just working towards this thing.
I love that. I think because we've had experience with one other person who decides when they like us and when they don't like us.
Oh no.
And I've seen their teamwork, and compared to what you're saying, I feel like that it's so different. Like there just feels like tumewasaidia. Where were you stuck? And
no, none of that.
Yeah, when you start getting the money, and wanting to take over. Anyway, so sounds good. I like it. But if you're trying to start and you don't have, as you said, the time, the logic, you don't even know you just have the content. It's
there's so many people that would be so great in a podcast. Do you know Kit, yeah? Kit Kiarie.
Kit, I know Kit,
Her sister Tawi. Tawi is a force. Like she has a cult-like following. She doesn't consider herself an influencer, but she has a cult-like following on social media.
Wow.
Like those guys will follow her to the grave. And I was telling her, why don't you start a podcast? But she's a pilot. That's her career. So she's always like in the sky. She was like, babe, if I found someone to do everything, I'd show up. I'd show up.
Most people.
So
because then us guys call us, sasa Mike's napata wapi? Okay, so what do I need to just start? And it's always like, okay, and then that story dies because they're like, sasa when?
It's a bit of
say big up to you guys for that whole
as we've done mic test.
Something else.
the audio box.
Oh, you record and there was no sound.
You're editing, you're trying to
or that audio box had mood swings. When it decides today we're recording, we'll record. If today it's not working, it will not work.
And then picking yourself up to do it again.
It's very derailing.
It's very
derailing.
It's training. So even us, we're really grateful with this little team of ours that we've put together, because 100% makes life easier and makes just the processes easier. But of course, now pressure of sustaining the team here, of course, is there. Of course, we don't work in agency. We have to monthly sustain the brand. But, whatever works, whichever way works for you, that as long as what you want to do, you're really passionate about it, lazima work.
And make no mistake, I feel like
lazima work. This episode is sponsored by.
But to be fair, I think even if the opportunity did not avail itself. We've always just had that passion for creating content since like 2015, you know, and we have the skills to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse. If you don't, if you're passionate about something and you want to put it out, don't wait until you have an agency or people to start and then
let them come on board.
You know,
even you started. I mean, you approached because of a piece of content you put out.
She put out and she consistently put it out, and it was timely. So, you know, there were other people who were scouted around that time. She was headhunted, yes, but she was just like, she did her best.
Doing the thing already.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's something we always say on this platform is whatever you're doing will eventually pay off, even if it's in the least unexpected of ways. If you're continually still creating content, you, like something somewhere, even if it's not okay, we are giving you this money, it'll like a link will happen. I mean, like I've said this time again, like I got my job through Banter.
I was about to say I've gotten jobs because
really?
of social media.
Like someone was just listening and then was like, oh, let's set up a meeting, and then in the meeting I just
Okay. I have a job, but I don't mind another one.
Yeah, you get.
Yeah. So even if it doesn't pay off directly, somehow, some way, you will feel that what you've done has been a fulfilling experience. Yeah, it's just sometimes it takes longer than from other people, and of course the reality of having a lot of saturation in the podcast industry, so that competition for who's gonna listen to what, are you gonna have consistent audience, because there's such a variety. I think your unique selling point is that it's completely different from what a lot of podcasters are doing.
It's very
when it comes
niche
to
also.
lifestyle
I think
podcasts, we are 50,000 here in Nairobi, so
the world.
we are
50,000,
pushing.
there's 7 billion people. Not yet 7 now.
Yeah.
8, 9 billion people in the world.
You have to go around.
Plus, I also believe that you really have no competition. If you think about it, you just do what you're doing and do it passionately.
For everyone.
You know, there's enough on the table for everybody. And then as long as you just keep doing, like you said, be consistent, always show up and keep showing up.
Yeah. Okay. This has been a
Awesome.
long
So guys, we're
episode,
gonna link
but I
them.
think
Please
we
tune
can-
in to
the
Sisters
sun going
in
down.
Crime.
Yes.
Very excited to see what you guys have in store for us. For sure, me, I'll be a listener. I think.
Yeah, 100% will be listening.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to just listen. And I'm very proud of you guys for taking that extra leap and starting this podcast. Thinking about it is one thing, execution is another. So
Facts.
it's always a win if you are able to get to that point.
And thank you for having us.
Thank you. We're
for having
around
us
in
on.
case
Yeah.
you need advice.
Best believe.
Yeah.
We do not shy away from phone calls.
Feel free to have us back again. We can talk about marketing. We can talk about other things.
Can talk about life.
Yeah,
You guys
this
can
is
come
so
on
fun.
and talk about some true crime.
You know, I would
Some heinous crimes.
You know, so being one of
If we
the
talk
leaders.
about
Spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you
Yeah,
need
why
some
not?
guests, hosts,
Let us
And we will. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
you.
We've clicked. I think you're the guest we've clicked the most with since. Okay,
I
maybe.
guess I'm going to listen and
No,
say,
let me not say
Let
that.
them listen.
You are one of the
Politically
guests.
correct.
Yeah, no, you
We
can.
know what you
We know what you mean. We've had you.
Okay, guys. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe right now. Mission
going to make a
5K.
dark joke.
And yes, make sure that you also follow up with Sisters in Crime. Lovely podcast, beautiful girlies. You've had the energy, so definitely, and leave a comment that they got to know about the podcast from Banter over Brunch, so that our brunchies can also support you on that front.
Amazing. So yeah, guys, it's been real. Thank you so much. Signing out. How are we signing out? Like,
We'll see you next week.
bye.
Bring hands.
Sure.
Just say
Bye.
bye.
Gang signs.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.